Tom was a young explorer from Earth. He was part of a team sent to study a faraway planet called Zirin. This planet was home to an alien race known as the Zirians. They were tall, with smooth blue skin and bright eyes that could change color. The Zirians lived in a large city made of shining crystals. It was a strange and beautiful place. Very different from Earth. Tom was nervous as his spaceship landed near the Zirian city. He knew this mission was important. Earth wanted to learn about new life and make friends with other planets. Tom's job was to understand the Zirians' culture and bring back good news. He hoped his visit would help both humans and Zirians. As Tom stepped out of the spaceship, he saw a crowd of Zirians waiting. They wore bright clothes and held glowing flowers. At the center of the crowd stood Queen Zera. She was tall and graceful, with eyes that shone like stars. The Zirians bowed as Tom approached, showing respect. Tom smiled and bowed back. He felt a little strange standing in front of the queen. "Welcome to Zirin," Zera said in a soft voice that echoed in his mind. The Zirians used telepathy to speak, but Tom was given a small device that helped him understand. "Thank you, Your Majesty," Tom said. "I'm honored to be here." Zera nodded. "Today, we celebrate a special day. You're here at a time of great change for our people." Tom looked around and saw colorful banners and music playing from strange instruments. The city was preparing for a big festival. Tom was told that this festival happened once every 100 years. It marked a new beginning for the Zirians. Suddenly, a Zeri official came to Tom and whispered, "You will take part in the ceremony with the queen." Tom was surprised. "Me? Why?" The official smiled but said nothing more. He guided Tom to a grand hall inside the palace. The hall was filled with light. Crystal pillars stretched to the ceiling, and the floor sparkled like diamonds. In the center of the hall, Queen Zera waited. She wore a beautiful dress made of glowing threads. The Zirians around them watched quietly. Tom felt all eyes on him. He took a deep breath and tried to remember the customs he had learned. The ceremony began. Zera spoke in her soft voice. "Today, we welcome a new friend to Zirin, one who will join us and share our future." The crowd cheered softly. Tom smiled and nodded. Then the Zeri official handed him a strange crystal. "You must speak the words to join with the queen." Tom looked at the crystal. It felt warm in his hand. He did not want to make a mistake. He thought quickly. He remembered a phrase from the Zeri language he had practiced. The words meant, "I offer my bond and friendship." He spoke slowly. "I offer my bond and friendship." At that moment, the queen's eyes changed color to a soft green, and she smiled warmly. "Wait, was that a marriage offer?" she asked, her voice gentle but full of meaning. Tom froze. He had no idea his words would mean that. The Zirians around them gasped softly. The hall became very quiet. The queen stepped closer and said with a smile, "I accept." Tom's heart raced. Was this really happening? Had he just accepted a marriage with the alien queen by accident? He looked at the queen's calm and kind face. She did not seem upset or angry. Instead, she looked happy. The Zeri official approached and said, "This is a great honor. The bond you have made is very important for the future of both our peoples." Tom felt a mix of fear and curiosity. He thought, "What have I done?" Later, in a private room, Zera explained, "On Zirin, this bond is more than a marriage. It is a promise of peace and friendship. It shows that humans and Zirians will work together." Tom listened carefully. "So, it is a way to build trust between our species." "Yes," Zera said. "We have had many wars in the past. This bond brings hope for a new time." Tom felt a little better. He had not meant to cause a problem, but now he saw this as a chance to help both Earth and Zirin. The next day, the news of the bond spread across the city. Some Zirians were excited, others were unsure. Tom met many leaders who asked him questions about Earth and humans. Tom tried to learn more about Zirians' customs. He wanted to understand what would happen next. One elder said, "You must prove you are worthy. Our council will decide if you can join the queen as her partner." Tom nodded. He was ready to face the challenge. At night, Tom looked out the window of his room. The stars shone brightly. He thought about the journey ahead. Maybe this is the beginning of something greater, he whispered. Tom knew his life had changed forever. He was no longer just an explorer. He was now part of the story that could change the future of two worlds. The morning sun rose over the bright city of Zirin. Tom felt nervous, but ready. Today, he would learn more about the alien traditions and what his unexpected bond with Queen Zera really meant. Queen Zera arrived at the meeting hall. Her eyes shone with soft light, and she smiled kindly at Tom. "Welcome," she said. "Today, I will explain the meaning of our bond." Tom nodded. He listened carefully as Zera spoke. "In our culture," she said, "marriage is different. From what humans know, it is not just a promise between two people. It is a symbol of peace and friendship between whole peoples." Tom thought about Earth's history. Many wars, many fights. Could this bond really bring peace? Zera continued, "When two leaders from different peoples join in bond, it shows trust and respect. It creates a strong link between our worlds. This bond helps us share knowledge, resources, and protection." Tom felt hope growing inside him. Maybe the strange accident was a good thing. One of Zera's advisors joined them. His name was Laro, a wise elder with calm eyes. "You must understand," Laro said. "This bond is powerful. It is not easy. It requires courage and honesty." Tom asked, "What will happen now?" Zera looked at him with a serious face. "You must meet our council. They will decide if you are worthy of this bond. They will test you with 3 trials to see your strength, your mind, and your heart." Tom felt a chill. Trials? He had not expected this. Laro smiled. "Do not fear, Tom. These trials are not just tests of power. They show your true character." Tom took a deep breath. "I will do my best." That day, Tom went with Zera to the council hall. The building was huge, made of shining crystal walls that reflected the sunlight. Inside, a circle of Zerians sat quietly. Their faces were serious but curious. The leader of the council, a tall Zerian named Varn, stood up. His eyes glowed bright blue. "Tom from Earth, you have surprised us all. Your words created a bond we did not expect." Tom bowed respectfully. "I did not mean to cause trouble, but I want to help." Varn nodded. "That is good. Now, you will face our trials. The first is a test of strength. You must show you can protect yourself and others." Tom was led to a large arena outside the city. The arena was filled with strange machines and obstacles. Laro explained, "You must reach the center while avoiding the dangers." Tom looked at the machines. Some moved fast. Others tried to block the path. He remembered training from Earth to stay calm and use his mind, not just his muscles. He moved carefully, dodging machines and jumping over traps. When he reached the center, the crowd cheered. Tom felt proud. Next came the second trial, a test of the mind. The council brought Tom to a room filled with puzzles and strange devices. Laro said, "You must solve these puzzles to show your intelligence and patience." Tom worked on the puzzles one by one. Some were hard, but he used simple logic and patience. When he finished, the council smiled. "You are clever," Varn said. The last trial was the hardest. A test of the heart. Tom and Zera were taken to a quiet garden filled with glowing plants. Here, the Zerians would watch if Tom showed kindness and honesty. A small alien child approached Tom. The child looked scared and lost. Tom knelt down and gently spoke to the child, calming it with soft words and a smile. Zera watched and smiled. The council saw Tom's gentle side. Varn said, "You have shown strength, wisdom, and kindness. You are worthy of the bond." Tom felt relief and joy. The trials were hard, but he passed after the trials. Tom spent time with Zera. She showed him the city and told stories of her people's past. She told how the Zerians had fought wars long ago, but had learned that peace was better. Tom shared stories from Earth too. He told Zera about human hopes for a better future. They laughed and talked, and Tom felt his fear slowly leave. He started to believe in the bond they had made. One evening, Zera said, "Tom, this bond is not just a duty. It is a chance to build something new." Tom looked into her eyes. I want to try. Zara smiled warmly. Then we will face the future together. But not all Zirians were happy. Some feared change and did not trust humans. A group of them watched Tom and Zara closely, planning to stop the bond. Tom learned this when Laura warned him. There are those who do not want peace. Be careful. Tom understood the road ahead would be difficult. But with Zara's support, he felt ready. The day ended with a great feast. Humans and Zirians celebrated together. Music filled the air, and lights sparkled. Everywhere. Tom looked around at the crowd. He saw hope in many faces. This was only the beginning. The days after the trials passed quickly. Tom felt more confident. He had passed the test of strength, mind, and heart. The council had accepted him as a worthy partner to Queen Zara. But the work was far from over. Not all the members of the council were happy with the new bond. Some of them still had doubts. They worried about the future and whether a human could really join their people. One of the oldest council members, named Vesk, was especially doubtful. Vesk had seen many wars and felt humans were too different. How can we trust someone from another world? He asked during a meeting. Other council members listened quietly. Some nodded, others looked worried. Zara stood calmly. The bond is about trust and hope. We must try. Tom wanted to prove himself even more. He knew words alone would not be enough. He would have to show the council that humans had strength and kindness worth sharing. The council set new challenges for Tom. These were not just tests of power or knowledge. They were deeper, harder challenges that would show if Tom could truly understand the Zirians and lead with them. The first challenge was to solve a conflict between two Zirian cities. These cities had been fighting over land for many years. The council wanted Tom to find a way to bring peace. Tom traveled to the first city with Zara. The city was full of tall crystal towers and busy markets. The people looked tired from years of fighting. Tom met the city leader, Naro, a strong woman with a sharp mind. Why do you fight? Tom asked. Naro looked at him carefully. Our people need land to grow food and live. The other city takes what we need. Tom listened and thought, maybe there's another way. We can share the land and help both cities. Naro frowned. How? They will not agree. Tom remembered stories from Earth. On Earth, many people live together even if they are different. They work to help each other. Naro nodded slowly. If you can show a way, maybe they will listen. Next, Tom and Zara visited the second city. It was smaller but rich with beautiful gardens and water. Pools. The leader here was a young man named Ril. Ril was angry when Tom spoke. Why should we share our land? The other city started the fight. Tom stayed calm. If the fighting continues, both cities will lose. People will suffer, Zara added. The bond between our peoples means we must find peace. I believe Tom can help. Ril looked at Tom, then at Zara. If you can prove it, I will listen. Tom spent days talking with both cities. He asked people about their needs and fears. He looked for ways to help. Finally, he had an idea. He suggested a new farming method that could grow more food on less land. This would let both cities share the land without losing what they needed, Tom explained. If you work together, you can have more than before. At first, the leaders doubted. But when Tom showed examples and how it worked on Earth, they started to agree. A meeting was set between the two cities. Tom stood in front of the leaders and many people. He spoke clearly and honestly. Peace is better than fighting, Tom said. You can share the land and live better together. The crowd was quiet, thinking. Naro and Ril looked at each other. Then, slowly, they nodded. The crowd cheered. When Tom returned to the council, he was tired but happy. The leaders smiled. You have shown wisdom and leadership, Varn said. But Vesk was silent. His eyes were cold. The next challenge was about culture. Tom was asked to participate in a Zirian tradition called the Memory Night. This night was special. Zirians shared stories from their past to teach lessons. For the future, Tom was nervous. He had never done anything like this. Zara helped him prepare. Tell your story, she said. Be honest and open. On Memory Night, Tom stood before many Zirians. He told stories of Earth, stories about people working together, overcoming fear, and helping others. He spoke about his family, his hopes, and his dreams. The crowd listened quietly. Many were moved by the simple human stories. After Tom finished, Zara stepped forward. Tom's story shows that humans value kindness and courage. This is what we need. The council nodded slowly. Even Vesk looked thoughtful. But the last challenge was the hardest. Some Zarians still feared what humans could bring. They worried about change, about losing their old ways. One night, Tom was warned by Zara and Lauro. "There are those who want to stop this bond," Zara said quietly. "You must be careful." Tom felt the weight of the threat. He knew he could not fail. Not now. The next day, while walking in the palace gardens, Tom was suddenly surrounded by a group of angry Zarians. They shouted, "You do not belong here. The bond is a mistake." Tom kept calm. He looked into their eyes. "I want peace. I want to help." One of the Zarians stepped forward. "You do not understand us. You are different." Tom smiled softly. Different can be good. It can bring new ideas and new strength. The angry group hesitated. Then Zara arrived, standing beside Tom. Her voice was strong. "This bond is for all of us, together. We are stronger." The group slowly backed away. The threat was not gone. But for now, Tom had shown courage. That evening, Tom sat with Zara under the stars. "Do you think the council will accept me fully?" Tom asked. Zara looked at him with warmth. "You have done well, but acceptance takes time." Tom nodded. "I will wait. I want to prove that humans can be good friends." Zara smiled. "And I will stand with you." Tom felt hope again. This journey was hard, but he knew he was not alone. Together, they looked toward the future. A future where two very different peoples might build something new. The days after the challenge were filled with hope, but also caution. Tom and Queen Zara knew that not everyone welcomed their bond. There were still those who feared change and wanted to stop the new alliance. One morning, as Tom walked through the crystal gardens of the palace, he noticed strange shadows moving between the tall glowing plants. He felt uneasy. Something was not right. Suddenly, from behind a large crystal pillar, a group of masked figures appeared. They moved quickly and silently. Before Tom could react, they grabbed him and pulled him into a hidden passage. Tom's heart pounded. "Who are you? Why are you doing this?" he asked. One of the figures stepped forward. "We are the guardians of the old ways. We do not want your bond with the queen. It will bring destruction." Tom tried to stay calm. "I only want peace. I want to help both our peoples." The leader of the group shook his head. "Your kind has brought only trouble. We will stop you." Meanwhile, in the palace, Zara waited for Tom. Hours passed, but he did not return. She grew worried. She sent her trusted guard, Lauro, to search for Tom. Laro searched the palace and gardens, but found no sign. Then, in the quiet halls, he discovered clues, footprints leading to a secret door. Zara's eyes narrowed. "This is no accident," she said. "Tom is in danger." She called the council. "We must act quickly. The Guardians want to break our bond." Varn, the council leader, nodded. "Prepare the guards. We will find Tom." Tom was held in a small room deep underground. The walls glowed faintly, but the air was cold and still. The Guardians watched him carefully. Tom looked around and tried to find a way to escape. He noticed that the door was made of a thick metal, but there was a small vent near the ceiling. He thought, "Maybe I can use the vent to get out." At night, when the Guardians were less watchful, Tom climbed onto a crate and reached the vent. It was small, but just big enough for him to squeeze through. He pulled himself up and crawled slowly. His heart beat fast. He did not want to be caught. After crawling for several minutes, Tom found a ladder leading back to the surface. He climbed up and pushed open a small trapdoor. Fresh air filled his lungs. He was outside the palace walls, near the garden. Tom ran toward the city, looking for help. He knew the Guardians would come after him. He reached Zara's chambers and knocked loudly. Zara opened the door, surprised. "Tom, are you safe?" Tom smiled tiredly. "I escaped, but the Guardians want to stop us." Zara nodded. "Then we must be stronger. We cannot let fear win." The council gathered again. Tom told them about the Guardians and their plan. Vesk, the doubtful elder, spoke. We must protect our people, but fighting will only cause more pain, Zara said. Our strength is in unity. We will face this threat together. The council agreed to increase the palace guards and watch the city closely. Tom and Zara worked together to build trust between the Zirians and humans living on Zirin. They held meetings, shared stories, and helped with projects to improve the city. Slowly, people began to see the bond not as a threat, but as a chance for a better future. But the Guardians did not give up. They moved in the shadows, trying to cause fear and doubt. One night, a messenger warned Tom of a plan to attack the Queen during a public ceremony. Tom felt a rush of fear, but also determination. I must protect Zara. On the day of the ceremony, the city was filled with light and music. Many Zirians and humans gathered to celebrate. Tom stayed close to Zara, watching carefully. Suddenly, from the crowd, the Guardians tried to rush toward Zara, but the guards stopped them quickly. Tom stepped forward and spoke loudly. We will not let fear break our bond. Together, we are stronger. The crowd cheered. Even some who once doubted now stood with Tom and Zara. The Guardians were captured and taken away. After the ceremony, Zara held Tom's hand. You were brave today. You saved us all. Tom smiled. I only want peace. I want to show that humans can be trusted. Zara looked at him with respect. You have shown true courage. This bond is growing stronger. That night, Tom and Zara stood on a balcony, looking at the stars. Tom said, the road is hard, but I believe in us. Zara nodded, as do I. Together, we will build a future where fear no longer rules. They held hands, ready to face whatever came next. Days passed after the ceremony, and the city of Zirin felt different. The bond between Tom and Queen Zara was no longer just a symbol. It was growing stronger. People in the city began to trust humans more, and Tom felt his role changing. Tom spent much time with Zara, learning about her people and their ways. They visited markets, gardens, and schools. Tom saw how much Zirians cared for each other and how they worked together to build a better world. One day, Zara said to Tom, our peoples are very different, but we share many hopes. We want peace, safety, and a good future. Tom smiled. I agree. Humans want the same things. Together, they plan new projects to help both humans and Zirians live better lives. Tom also met many Zirians who were still unsure about the bond. One man named Terrence spoke honestly. I want to believe in this bond, but I worry. What if humans are not ready to live with us? Tom listened carefully. I understand your fear, but I believe that by working together, we can learn and grow. We can be friends. Terrence nodded slowly. I will try. The bomb was tested one day when a strong storm hit Zirin. The sky darkened, and heavy winds broke trees and damaged buildings. Tom and Zara quickly organized teams to help the people. Humans and Zirians worked side by side, fixing homes and clearing streets. Tom saw how the Zirian strength and the humans' creativity made a good team. At one point, a large tree blocked the road, trapping a group of children. Tom and Zara worked together to move the tree safely. After the storm passed, the city was damaged, but the people were safe. Many said the bond between Tom and Zara had saved them. One evening, Tom sat with Zara in the palace garden. The soft lights from the glowing plants surrounded them. Zara, Tom said, I feel like I understand your people more every day, and I hope you feel the same about humans. Zara smiled. Yes, Tom, you have shown kindness, strength, and patience. That is what matters. Tom looked at her and said quietly, I want to be worthy of this bond. Zara took his hand gently. You already are. However, not all challenges were easy. Some Zirians still whispered doubts and fears. Rumors spread about humans causing harm or bringing trouble. Tom decided to hold a public meeting. He stood before a large crowd in the city square. I know many of you are unsure about humans. Tom said, but I promise we want peace and friendship. We want to build a future together. He told stories of Earth, how people helped each other during hard times, and how they learn from their mistakes. The crowd listened quietly, slowly. Some began to nod in agreement. Zara watched. Proudly, she spoke to the crowd too. Tom is not just an explorer. He is a friend to all Xerians. The people cheered. The bond was growing stronger. One day, a message arrived from Earth. It was from the human leaders, asking Tom to return home. Tom felt torn. He wanted to see his family, but also wanted to stay with Zara and the Xerians. Zara understood. Your place is with your people, but you are always welcome here. Tom smiled. I will return, but for now, I want to help build this bond. The bond between Tom and Zara became a symbol of hope not just for Xeran, but for the whole galaxy. Other planets heard of the alliance and began to send messages of peace. Tom realized that their small beginning could change many worlds. At night, Tom and Zara looked up at the stars. Do you think humans and Xerians can live together in peace? Tom asked. Zara nodded. Yes, if we keep trust and kindness in our hearts. Tom smiled. Then let us keep working. Together, they held hands, ready for the challenges and hopes ahead. The day of the final ceremony had come. The city of Xeran was alive with excitement. Colorful lights shone from every crystal tower, and the streets were filled with smiling faces. This ceremony was not just a celebration of the bond between Tom and Queen Zara. It was a promise of peace and friendship between two very different peoples. Tom woke early, feeling a mix of nerves and hope. Today, he would officially become the Queen's partner in the eyes of the Xerians and the Council. He dressed in simple clothes given by the Xerians, clothes that shimmered softly and symbolized unity. Zara appeared in the grand hall, radiant and calm. Her eyes glowed gently as she smiled at Tom. Today, we take a new step, she said softly. Together, we will build a future where our people stand as one. Tom nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He thought of the long journey he had traveled from Earth to Xeran. From a confused visitor to a trusted friend, the council gathered in the Crystal Hall. The elders, the leaders, and many Xerians from the city were present. Varn, the head of the council, spoke first. Tom from Earth, he said, you have passed many trials. You have shown strength, wisdom, and kindness. Now, it is time for the final test, a test not of power or knowledge, but of leadership. Tom listened carefully. A sudden message came from the city's outer regions. A natural disaster had struck. A massive earthquake shook the land, damaging homes and threatening lives. The council looked worried. Varn turned to Tom. Your leadership is needed. Will you help us protect Xeran? Tom did not hesitate. Yes, I will do everything I can. Tom quickly joined the city's leaders. He used his knowledge and the help of Zara and the Xerians to organize rescue teams and provide aid. He remembered what he had learned on Earth about working with different people during disasters. Tom encouraged everyone to work together, humans and Xerians side by side. They set up safe zones, cleared debris, and cared for the injured. Despite the danger, the city's spirit stayed strong. People helped each other without fear. After many hours, the earthquake stopped. The damage was great, but no lives were lost thanks to the quick action. The council returned to the hall. Varn looked at Tom and smiled. You have shown true leadership. You have protected our people in a time of crisis. Zara stepped forward and took Tom's hand. Today, we are united not just by words, but by actions. Our bond is real. The council stood and cheered. Tom felt proud and grateful. The final ceremony began. Tom and Zara stood before the council and the people. Varn spoke the ancient words of unity in the Xerian language. Then Zara repeated the words, and finally, Tom spoke in his simple human language. Together, they declared their bond, promising to protect and support each other and their peoples. Lights from the crystals around the hall shimmered and danced, filling the room with warmth. After the ceremony, the city celebrated late into the night. Music and laughter echoed through the streets. Tom and Zara stood on a balcony, watching the stars. Do you feel ready? Zara asked. Tom smiled. I do, because I know we will face the future together. Zara nodded. Together, the bond between Tom and Zara became a symbol of hope for many worlds. The story of their courage and friendship spread, inspiring others to build peace. Tom knew the journey was not over, but he believed in the power of kindness and trust, and with Zara by his side, he was ready for whatever came next. The days after the final ceremony were filled with hope and busy work. Tom and Queen Zara now had a new role, not just partners, but leaders who must guide their peoples toward a shared future. Tom woke early and looked out at the bright city of Zirin. The crystal towers sparkled in the morning light. This city, once divided, was now a place of new friendship. Zara joined him on the balcony. "The bond we made is strong," she said softly, "but there is still much to do." Tom nodded. "We must show everyone that this alliance works." Together, they planned to visit villages and towns across Zirin to meet the people and learn their needs. Their first trip took them to a small farming village near the mountains. The villagers welcomed them with open arms. Tom saw children playing, farmers working, and elders sharing stories by fires. One elder named Carl spoke to Tom. "We have lived here for many years. The bond you share gives us hope." Tom smiled. "I want to help your village grow and be safe." Zara added, "Together, humans and Zirians can build a better life for all." As they traveled, Tom and Zara saw the good and the challenges. Some villages had problems with food or water. Others struggled with old fears of outsiders. But each time, Tom used what he had learned: patience, kindness, and the willingness to listen. Zara's people began to trust humans more. Slowly, the old walls of fear started to fall. Back in the city, the council worked to create new laws that helped both humans and Zirians live peacefully. Varn said, "The future is brighter because of this bond. It shows the strength of unity." Even Vesk, the elder who once doubted, now spoke in favor of the alliance. "I see now that trust can grow if we give it a chance." One evening, Tom and Zara stood in the palace garden. The glowing plants lit their faces softly. Tom said, "I never imagined my journey would lead here. From a simple explorer to a partner of a queen." Zara smiled. "You have shown courage and heart. That is what matters most." Tom looked up at the stars. "I believe this is just the beginning for humans, Zirians. In many worlds to come," Zara nodded, "and we will face the future together." News of their bond spread across the galaxy. Other planets sent messages of friendship and hope. Tom and Zara's story became a symbol, proof that differences could be bridges, not walls. The bond showed that even in the vast universe, kindness and trust were the greatest powers. As the sun set on Zirin, Tom and Zara stood side by side. Their hands touched, a sign of unity between two very different peoples. The future was full of promise, and they were ready to meet it together.